Have you ever felt like you're struggling upstream, fighting against the current of life? Do you find yourself constantly striving and pushing, trying to make things happen, only to feel exhausted and unfulfilled? If so, you're not alone. In our modern world, we're often taught that success and happiness come from hard work, determination, and grit. But what if there was another way? What if the key to transformation and awakening lies not in effort and struggle, but in ease and flow? This is the essence of the Taoist path, a tradition guiding people toward effortless transformation for thousands of years. The Taoists understood that true power and wisdom come not from forcing ourselves to change, but from aligning ourselves with the natural rhythm of life itself. They recognize that just as a tree grows effortlessly toward the sun and a river flows effortlessly toward the sea, we can also grow and evolve effortlessly towards our highest potential. I'll now teach you the profound wisdom of the Taoist path and discover how we can apply its principles to our own lives. We'll dive deep into the art of letting go, the power of surrender, and the cultivation of inner alchemy, and learn how these practices can help us to relax into our awakening and realize our true nature as immortal souls. But this journey isn't just about abstract concepts or esoteric practices. It's about real, tangible transformation in every area of our lives. As we learn to let go of our struggles and align ourselves with the effortless flow of the Tao, we'll begin to experience a profound sense of peace, joy, and purpose. At the heart of the Taoist tradition is a simple but profound idea that the key to transformation and awakening lies not in effort and struggle, but in ease and flow. The Taoists understood that when we align ourselves with the natural rhythm of life, we tap into a source of power and wisdom that is far greater than our individual selves. This is the essence of the Tao, the ineffable source from which all things arise and to which all things return. The Tao is often described as the way or the path, but it is not a path that can be followed in the conventional sense. It is a way of being, a state of harmony and flow that arises when we let go of our resistance and surrender to the natural unfolding of life. To illustrate this idea, think of a time when you were completely absorbed in an activity that you loved, whether it was painting, dancing, or playing music. In those moments, you likely felt a sense of effortless flow, as if time had stopped and you were one with the activity itself. This is the state of Wu Wei, or effortless action, that the Taoists sought to cultivate in every moment of life. Wu Wei doesn't mean doing nothing, but rather doing everything in a way that is in harmony with the natural flow of life. It is a state of being in which we are fully present and responsive to the moment, without the need to force or control outcomes. When we embody Wu Wei, we become like a blade of grass that bends with the wind, or a river that flows effortlessly towards the sea. One of the key principles of Wu Wei is the art of letting go. In our modern world, we are often taught to cling to our desires, our beliefs, and our sense of self. We are told that we must strive and struggle to achieve our goals, and that we must hold on to what we have at all costs. However, the Taoists understood that true freedom and happiness come from letting go of our attachments and allowing ourselves to flow with the current of life. This doesn't mean that we become passive or indifferent, but rather that we learn to hold our desires and goals lightly, without grasping or clinging to them. We recognize that everything in life is constantly changing, and that our happiness and fulfillment cannot be found in external circumstances or possessions. Another key principle of Wu Wei is the power of surrender. In our culture, surrender is often seen as a sign of weakness or defeat. But in the Taoist tradition, surrender is the ultimate expression of strength and wisdom. When we surrender to the flow of life, we let go of our resistance and allow ourselves to be carried by the current of the Tao. This doesn't mean that we become passive or inert, but rather that we align our actions with the natural unfolding of reality. We become like a surfer who rides the waves with skill and grace, rather than fighting against the current. In this state of surrender, we find a deep sense of peace and ease, knowing that we are supported by the infinite wisdom of the universe itself. Of course, cultivating the state of Wu Wei and embodying the principles of letting go and surrender is not always easy. It requires a willingness to let go of our preconceived notions of who we are and what we can become, and to embrace the unknown with courage and trust. But as we deepen our practice of effortless transformation, we begin to experience a profound sense of freedom and joy. We discover that we have the power to manifest our own reality and to create a world that is more harmonious, compassionate, and loving. And perhaps most importantly, we begin to awaken to our true nature as immortal souls, capable of manifesting in human form at will. If you will study the Tao, then give us a like and subscribe. We'll help you understand deeper while you help us grow. Now let's discuss the art of letting go. One of the greatest obstacles to effortless transformation is our mind. From a young age, we are conditioned to believe that we are separate from the world around us and that we must strive and struggle to achieve our goals and desires. We are taught to cling to our beliefs, our identities, and our possessions, and to fear the uncertainty and impermanence of life itself. But as the Taoist sage Lao Tzu reminds us, the sage has no mind of his own. He is aware of the needs of others. In other words, the key to true wisdom and happiness lies not in grasping and clinging, but in letting go and allowing ourselves to be guided by the needs of the moment. So how can we cultivate the art of letting go in our own lives? One powerful tool is the practice of meditation. By sitting in stillness and silence, we create a space in which we can observe the movements of our minds without getting caught up in them. We learn to watch our thoughts and emotions arise and pass away like clouds drifting across the sky. As we deepen our meditation practice, we begin to experience a sense of spaciousness and clarity that extends beyond the confines of ourself. We recognize that our thoughts and emotions are not who we are, but rather temporary phenomena that arise and pass away within the vast expanse of our consciousness. This recognition is the key to letting go. When we realize that we are not our thoughts or emotions, we no longer need to cling to them or identify with them. We can allow them to come and go without getting caught up in their drama or intensity. Another powerful tool for cultivating the art of letting go is the practice of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean that we don't care about the world around us, but rather that we recognize the impermanence and interdependence of all things. When we practice non-attachment, we learn to hold our desires and goals lightly without grasping or clinging to them. We recognize that everything in life is constantly changing and that our happiness and fulfillment cannot be found in external circumstances or possessions. This doesn't mean that we don't take action or pursue our dreams, but rather that we do so with a sense of ease and flow, trusting in the natural unfolding of life itself. We learn to let go of our need for control and certainty and to embrace the mystery and unpredictability of each moment. Of course, cultivating the art of letting go is not always easy. It requires a willingness to face our deepest fears and insecurities, and to let go of the stories and beliefs that we have used to define ourselves. It can be scary to step into the unknown, to let go of what is familiar and comfortable. But as we deepen our practice of letting go, we begin to experience a profound sense of freedom and liberation. We no longer feel bound by our thoughts, emotions, or circumstances, but rather recognize that we are the vast, open space in which all of these phenomena arise and pass away. We discover that true happiness and fulfillment come not from grasping and clinging, but from letting go and allowing ourselves to be carried by the current of life itself. We learn to trust in the wisdom of the universe and to surrender to the natural unfolding of our awakening. In our modern world, the concept of surrender is often misunderstood. We are taught to associate surrender with weakness, passivity, and defeat. We are told that we must fight for what we want and that we must never give up or give in. But the Taoists understood that true power lies not in struggle and resistance, but in surrender and acceptance. When we surrender to the flow of life, we let go of our need to control and manipulate reality. We recognize that there is a greater intelligence at work in the universe, and that our role is not to force our will upon it, but rather to align ourselves with its natural unfolding. This doesn't mean that we become passive or inert, but rather that we become more responsive and adaptable to the changing circumstances of life. We learn to trust in the wisdom of the universe and to let go of our attachment to specific outcomes or results. One of the most powerful tools for cultivating the power of surrender is the practice of acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean that we approve of or condone everything that happens in life, but rather that we recognize the reality of what is, without resistance or judgment. When we practice acceptance, we learn to embrace the fullness of each moment, with all of its joys and sorrows, its pleasures and pains. We recognize that every experience, no matter how challenging, is an opportunity for growth and transformation. This doesn't mean that we become complacent or resigned to our fate, but rather that we learn to work with the flow of life rather than against it. We become like a skilled surfer, riding the waves of change with grace and ease, rather than fighting against the current. Another powerful tool for cultivating the power of surrender is the practice of trust. Trust doesn't mean that we blindly follow others or give up our discernment, but rather that we learn to trust in the inherent goodness and wisdom of the universe itself. When we practice trust, we recognize that everything in life is unfolding according to a greater plan, even if we cannot see or understand it in the moment. We learn to let go of our fears and doubts and to have faith in the journey of our awakening. This doesn't mean that we will never experience challenges or difficulties along the way, but rather that we will have the resilience and adaptability to meet them with grace and ease. We will know that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth, and that every setback is a chance to deepen our trust and surrender. Of course, cultivating the power of surrender is not always easy. It requires a willingness to let go of our need for control and certainty, and to embrace the unknown with courage and trust. It can be scary to let go of what is familiar and comfortable, to step into the mystery of life itself. But as we deepen our practice of surrender, we begin to experience a profound sense of peace and ease in our lives. We no longer feel the need to fight against reality, but rather learn to flow with it, like a river winding its way toward the sea. We become more attuned to the subtle guidance of the universe and more receptive to the opportunities and blessings that arise in each moment. We learn to let go of our attachment to specific outcomes and to trust in the inherent goodness and wisdom of life itself. So, if you feel called to cultivate the power of surrender in your own life, know that you are not alone. The Tao is always with you, guiding you towards your highest potential with every breath and every step. As we deepen our practice of effortless transformation, we begin to awaken to the true nature of our being. We recognize that we are not merely physical bodies or mental constructs, but rather immortal souls, imbued with the infinite wisdom and creativity of the universe itself. This recognition is not a matter of belief or faith, but rather a direct experience of our divine nature. It is a knowing that arises from the depths of our being, beyond the confines of our self. In the Taoist tradition, this awakening is often described as the realization of our true self or original nature. It is the recognition that beneath the layers of our conditioning and identity, there is a vast, open space of pure awareness, untouched by the fluctuations of the mind and the world. As we awaken to this true self, we begin to experience a profound sense of freedom and liberation. We no longer feel bound by the limitations of our physical body or the constraints of our mental constructs. We recognize that we are infinite beings, capable of manifesting in any form or dimension that we choose. This is the essence of soul immortality, the recognition that our true nature is eternal and unbounded, beyond the cycle of birth and death. It is the realization that we are not separate from the universe, but rather an integral part of its infinite wisdom and creativity. To cultivate this awakening, the Taoists emphasize the importance of inner alchemy, or the transformation of our consciousness. They recognized that just as the outer world is constantly changing and evolving, so too is our inner world, and that by cultivating our awareness and energy, we can accelerate the process of our awakening. One of the key practices of inner alchemy is the cultivation of qi, or life force energy. Qi is the animating force that flows through all things, and by learning to harness and direct this energy within ourselves, we can unlock the full potential of our being. This involves practices such as Qigong, Tai Chi, and meditation, which help to balance and harmonize the flow of Qi within our bodies and minds. As we deepen our practice of these arts, we begin to experience a greater sense of vitality, clarity, and inner peace. Another key practice of inner alchemy is the cultivation of virtue, or the alignment of our actions with the natural flow of the Tao. The Taoists recognize that our thoughts, words, and deeds have a powerful impact on the world around us, and that by cultivating virtues such as compassion, integrity, and humility, we can create a more harmonious and balanced reality. This involves practices such as self-reflection, contemplation, and service to others, which help to purify our hearts and minds and align ourselves with the highest wisdom of the universe. As we deepen our practice of virtue, we begin to experience a greater sense of purpose, meaning, and connection to all of life. Of course, the journey of effortless awakening and soul immortality is not always easy. It requires a willingness to let go of our old patterns and beliefs, to face our deepest fears and limitations, and to step into the unknown with courage and trust. It can be challenging to let go of the stories and identities that we have used to define ourselves, and to embrace the vastness and mystery of our being. But as we deepen our practice of inner alchemy and align ourselves with the natural flow of the Tao, we begin to experience a profound sense of ease and grace in our lives. We discover that the journey of awakening is not a destination to be reached, but rather a way of being that infuses every moment with meaning and purpose. We recognize that we are not separate from the universe, but rather an integral part of its infinite wisdom and creativity. We begin to experience a profound sense of unity and interconnectedness with all things, and a deep knowing of our immortality and divinity. And perhaps most importantly, we discover that the journey of awakening is not something that we do alone, but rather something that we share with all of life. We recognize that every person, every creature, every blade of grass is a manifestation of the same divine essence, and that by supporting and uplifting each other, we accelerate the process of our collective awakening. As we come to the end of this transformative journey, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on the profound wisdom of the Taoist path. From the art of letting go to the power of surrender, from the cultivation of inner alchemy to the realization of our own immortality, this ancient tradition offers us a roadmap for effortless transformation and awakening. But the true power of this path lies not in the words or concepts themselves, but rather in the direct experience of our being. It is a path that requires us to let go of our preconceived notions and beliefs, and to open ourselves up to the infinite wisdom and creativity of the universe itself. This may seem like a daunting task, especially in a world that is so often focused on striving, achieving, and controlling. But the beauty of the Taoist path is that it invites us to relax into the effortless flow of life itself and to trust in the inherent goodness and wisdom of the universe. As we cultivate this trust and surrender, we begin to experience a profound sense of peace, ease, and joy in our lives. We no longer feel the need to fight against reality, but rather learn to dance with it, like a leaf floating on the surface of a stream. We become more attuned to the subtle guidance of the Tao and more receptive to the opportunities and blessings that arise in each moment. We learn to let go of our attachment to specific outcomes and to embrace the mystery and unpredictability of life itself. And perhaps most importantly, we begin to awaken to our true nature as immortal souls, capable of manifesting in any form or dimension that we choose. We recognize that we are not separate from the universe, but rather an integral part of its infinite wisdom and creativity. So if you feel called to embark on this journey of effortless transformation and awakening, know that you are not alone. The Tao is always with you, guiding you towards your highest potential with every breath and every step. All you need to do is relax, let go, and trust in the infinite wisdom of the universe itself. Embrace the effortless path and allow yourself to be carried by the current of life itself. The journey may not always be easy, but it is always worth it. And remember, the journey of awakening is not something that you do alone, but rather something that you share with all of life. By supporting and uplifting each other, we accelerate the process of our collective awakening and create a world that is more harmonious, compassionate, and loving. So take a deep breath, relax into the effortless flow of life itself, and trust in the journey of your awakening. The Tao is always with you, guiding you towards your highest potential with every breath and every step. Embrace the effortless path and let the journey unfold with ease and grace. And as you continue on this path, remember to be gentle and compassionate with yourself. The journey of awakening is not a race or a competition, but rather a gradual unfolding of your divine nature. Trust in the timing and the wisdom of your soul and know that everything is happening exactly as it should. So let go of any sense of urgency or striving and simply allow yourself to be carried by the effortless flow of life itself. Embrace the beauty and the mystery of each moment, and know that you are exactly where you need to be. And above all, remember that the effortless path is a path of joy, ease, and deep connection to all of life. It is a path that invites you to dance with the universe, to play in the fields of infinite possibility, and to embrace the fullness of your being. So let your heart be light, your mind be clear, and your spirit be free. The Tao is always with you, guiding you towards your highest potential with every breath and every step. Embrace the effortless path and let the journey unfold with ease and grace.